Who doesn't know Sherlock Holmes? I think everyone is familiar with this name. Right, he is the famous detective character all the time. And now, I will review the debut book about the Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet. Arthur Conan Doyle was introduced Sherlock Holmes in this book. He created a world-famous character. Even in the 21st century, a lot of people still reading it. It was first published in 1887, but in that time, it didn't receive much notice from the public. But here, I am holding the book that was published by Gramedia in 2019 with 160 pages. This book is divided into two sections, with the first section focusing mostly on the legendary encounter between Sherlock and Dr. Watson, as well as the characterization of the other characters and the murder case. In the first section, Dr. Watson, who just returned from a war in Afghanistan, meets Sherlock Holmes for the first time when they become a roommates at the famous 221B Baker Street. While for the second section, it reveals the motive of the killing. By adding the second part, Doyle forced the reader to empathize for the villain. The story starts in 1881 when Dr. Watson meets up with Stamford, an old friend. He was forced to resign due to a shoulder injury he got during the Anglo-Afghan War, and he is currently seeking for housing in London. Stamford makes reference to Sherlock Holmes, a friend of his, who is searching for someone to share the rent in some excellent quarters. But he issued a warning on Holmes' oddities. The iconic encounter between Watson and Sherlock Holmes is put in motion when Watson agrees to meet with Holmes, launching one of history's most famous relationships. In A Study in Scarlet, Sherlock Holmes investigates a murder in Lauriston Garden as Dr. Watson follows along and narrates about Holmes' incredible deduction skills. After Holmes and Dr. Watson meet, suddenly a telegram came in. The telegram contained a murder case. Without thinking, Dr. Watson went with Sherlock Holmes to the crime scene, an abandoned house in the Brixton Road area. When they got to the house, there was writing on the wall, Rache, a German term meaning revenge, in red. In that house, there was a victim named Enoch Trevor. Sherlock Holmes' various flaws, as well as his peculiar yet astounding knowledge, are listed by his astonished new roommate, Dr. Watson. In addition to his well-known arrogance and tactlessness, Sherlock Holmes is undoubtedly a unique individual, and his peculiarities and quirks are as astounding as his impressive detective abilities. The most enjoyable section of Study in Scarlet is the first half, which is a skillfully rendered study of Sherlock Holmes' personality, eccentricities, and investigative technique. As I said before, this book is divided into two parts, where the second part is a little less interesting for me, because it only tells the background of the murder, which is narrated from the killer's perspective, while Holmes and Watson are completely cut out. And the story now shifts to the backstory of the murderer, so that anyone who reads it, I think it will feel that this part is not connected with the previous part and should telling in less extended. The novel telling of events from Watson's point of view is its most distinctive feature. Doyle's clever move make it easier to characterize Watson and enable the reader to engage emotionally with the characters right away. In addition, serving as the book's narrator, Watson also acts as a link between the readers and Holmes. Watson almost seems to be playing the part of the reader response to meeting Holmes. The narrative in this book is what made it so reader-worthy. Doyle's precise word choice and incredible visual completely immerse the reader in the world of Holmes and Watson. Although the plot is straightforward, the reader is compelled to continue reading due to the strong emotional connection they form with the various characters. The mystery was kept fresh and interesting by the Victorian setting, specific character quirks, and the lack of technology. At the conclusion of each chapter, Doyle managed to leave the reader with a cliffhanger, which only made whoever read this want to read more. I really recommend this book if you like Sherlock Holmes or kind of detective novel or short mysteries or something like Victorian London setting. And yeah, this is I think it's worth it. I think that's all my review for this book. If I should give a rate, I will rate this book 4 out of 5. Thank you.